MMA show around the world. My name's Mighty. Thank you for joining me. So, this past weekend, no fights. Well, you might got to fight with your girl, or maybe your mom, or your buddy. But I mean, as far as like organized promotions go, the major promotions, you know what I'm saying? None went on. But that's all right. We got some coming up this weekend. We got actually the TUFer coming up this weekend, Bellator and UFC. We'll get to that towards the end of the episode. Right now, we're going to talk about news, rumors, get into that. So, The Ultimate Fighter was on break, came back this week. McGregor and company up to his typical shenanigans. You know what? I actually like The Ultimate Fighter in general. I think it's a great outlet of, you know, getting the new up-and-coming fighters. There's always options and avenues of getting up-and-coming fighters to different promotions, and I think this is a great way. It's a show, gives a little exposure to some people, gives the opportunity to become a professional fighter, let them showcase their talents, and then you always have the drama edge with the coaches, depending on who the coaches are. Sometimes you might have no drama, and sometimes you might have a lot of drama, so it just depends on who the coaches are. I would say, for the most part, McGregor and Uriah get along pretty well. I think they have a nice little playful banter. I personally just watch the show for fights. Most of the time, I know, but I'll fast forward. Usually, not all of it, but maybe some of it. I do want to get that fighter connection. I do want to learn about them a little bit. But as far as the whole reality TV drama goes, that's not me. I just want to watch fights. I mean, that's cool if they get a build-up, maybe get some type of conflict going on, but it doesn't need to be like oversensitized or over-dramatized or whatever cool long words you want to use. I obviously don't have any more, so I won't say anymore. But in any case, that came back this week. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I won't spoil it for you, but maybe something interesting. You never know. Wednesday nights, right? I think this was episode 7. Also in the news this week, there's a lot to talk about. Trust me, there's plenty to talk about. Miesha Tate talking of retirement. You know, I can't blame her for her points that she's bringing up. A lot of them are valid. So, you know, you get in this situation where you're offered something and then it's taken away from you. She's not the only fighter that's been in this situation before. This has happened to Gustafsson, I believe, once, maybe twice, I don't know. And that's the fire that pops to my brain first. But obviously there are numerous fighters that they're promised something, whether it's a title shot or a fight with somebody. And in some cases, they're actually scheduled. And then it gets rescheduled, or, you know, then it gets canceled for whatever reason, maybe due to an injury. And then instead of rescheduling the initial fight, it gets swapped around. I can't say I don't feel bad for Miesha, because I can understand her frustrations. She's promised to fight Ronda Rousey after she beat Jessica Evil Eye. And, you know, if you're promised, whether it's a real promise or it's just like, yeah, you know, we'll probably give you the next shot, whatever the terminology is being used, at some point, someone said, whether it was Dana or Lorenzo or Joe Silva, said, hey, you beat Jessica, you're going to be next in line to fight Ronda Rousey, and that didn't happen. And it sucks. I personally want to see fresh blood. I'm not saying Miesha's not deserving. I'm just saying whether or not Holly Holm is a sacrificial lamb, which almost all of her opponents are, to Ronda Rousey, I still want to see her fight new talent. But I still believe Miesha probably has the advantage and probably is the best to beat Ronda Rousey just because she's already fought her twice. So she has the advantage of knowing what to expect if you can, in fact, know what to expect, because Ronda's pretty well-rounded. She has quite a few different types of wins outside of just first-round armbar. So, in any case, Miesha's talking about retirement. I would hate to see her go. She's probably in her peak of her career, or close to it if she's not. So, we'll see what happens there. The other thing we got talking about this week is Anthony Rumble Johnson versus, you guessed it, Ryan Bader. So much for Ryan Bader not taking dumb fights, right? In any case, they're going to headline UFC on Fox 18. I believe that is January 30th. That is a good matchup. You know, off the top of my head, I would have to go with Anthony Rumble Johnson just because I like that guy. He's such a beast. But you can't rule out Ryan Bader. There's no way. Guy's on a 5-fight win streak, 4 or 5-fight win streak. He's up there. He's legitimate. We'll see what happens. They both have a wrestling background, so that might be null and void. If that's the case, you got to give Rumble the power advantage. So if you could completely wipe out the wrestling aspect, I give Rumble the advantage on the feet. But Bader might be a better wrestler than Anthony Rumble Johnson. We'll have to see. The only thing that I would think that he is not is because Rumble fought Phil Davis, and man, he was able to stuff most of Davis's takedowns, and when he did get down Rumble, and honestly, I don't remember even if he did, but if he did, I know he got up quickly. Because I remember it was either like null and void, or it was almost irrelevant. It's been a while since I've watched that fight. I might have to rewatch it. But, I mean, Phil Davis, he's a phenomenal wrestler, and he's got some decent strength, especially upper body strength. So I'm thinking, man, if Davis can't take you down and hold you down, I don't think Bader's going to do it. But it'll be interesting. I really want to see that matchup. You know what? I say if Ryan Bader can beat Anthony Rumble Johnson, by all means, he would deserve the next title shot. That's my opinion. I know it's not worth much, but hey, that's what I'm going with anyway. All right, let's get into this weekend. We have the twofer. We have Bellator on Friday, and we have UFC on Saturday. I'm going to briefly touch the Bellator card because I kind of want to talk about the UFC card, primarily the main event. It is intriguing to me anyways. Not everybody, but to me. I think some people are intrigued as well. We'll see. We'll see by the numbers. But in any case, Bellator 145 in St. Louis, Missouri. We have two title fights, co-main and main event. Will Brooks will be defending his title against Marcin Held. Interesting matchup. Interesting matchup. We also have Daniel Strauss against Patricky Pitbull. Or Patricio. I think it's Patricio. This is Patricio. Patricky is his brother. Patricio Pitbull. And this is actually their third meeting. So I'm not going to give any fight predictions on this particular card. I did want to point it out. It's free on Spike, by the way. If you have Spike, free card, check it out. There are some other interesting fights on the card as well. And if you're in the area, go check out the fight. It's great live. They actually do. Bellator does actually a really nice live event. And tickets are usually very affordable. So if you're in the area, in the St. Louis area, go check them out. I recommend it. I'm sure tickets are still available. Go to Bellator.com. Scott Coker, you can send me that check later, okay? So anyways, and then the next night, we have UFC Fight Night Brazil. This is what I want to talk about. We have a nice card. You know, there's a lot of Brazilian fighters on there, obviously. But co-main event, Glover Teixeira, Patrick Cummings, sweet. Main event, Dan Henderson against Vitor Belfort, the Phenom. This is an interesting fight. Both these guys were on TRT at one point. Now, I would say by looks, TRT definitely an advantage for Vitor. I mean, it looks like a night and day difference between with and without TRT. Whether or not it affects Hendo the same, it doesn't look like it, at least physically. But it could. Who knows? Hendo has been way more active over the last couple years than Vitor. You know what? And the crazy thing is, it's almost 2 years to the day that these two men have fought. Vitor won last time by a knockout. But I don't know, man. Vitor has only fought once since they fought 2 years ago. And that was against Chris Weidman. And that was without TRT. He had a string of injuries. He didn't fight at all in 2014. Remember, that fight had been rescheduled, I think, 2 times. I think once for Vitor and once for Weidman. I think Vitor had to get rescheduled because he was coming off TRT, so they had to reschedule it. And that was, I believe, Memorial Day 2014. And then they rescheduled it for a different time. And then I believe Weidman got hurt. And then they finally fought earlier this year. So it's going to be a very interesting fight. And I think this will be whether or not Vitor continues to fight. I think TRT is kind of helped him get past what he would normally be able to do. Hendo, on the other case, TRT was probably helping him just to stay maybe a little healthier, allow him to train a little harder, feel a little more energetic. But physically, he looks pretty much the same. Power-wise, I mean, after fighting Tim Boesch, he looks pretty much the same. Cardio could be an issue, based upon not having your testosterone levels up. But as a physical attribute, Vitor, man, I can't say it enough. So I want to see how this fight plays out. It is in Brazil. Maybe Vitor can channel his inner energy from his homeland. But I have to go with Hendo on this. I know they fought 2 years ago and Vitor beat him, but that was a completely different beast. Vitor was on a tear. It was like a 3 or 4 fight win streak. Back-to-back head kick KOs. Luke Rockhold, spinning heel kick to his dome, and then he beat Hendo on his next fight. And then that was the last fight he had until he fought Weidman. So you're talking about only fighting twice in the last 2 years. And then Hendo, I mean, he has been more active, but he's only won 2 of his last 7 fights. Granted, though, he's fought, except for Tim Boesch, everyone he's fought, I think, has been in either like the top 5 or top 7. You have like Rashad Evans, Lyoto Machida, obviously Vitor. That's when he was on his tear, so he was getting ranked higher, and that's why he got the title shot. So when he fought Hendo, he was probably ranked 2nd or 3rd, maybe 4th, I'm guessing. And then when he won, he got ranked up, and that's what gave him that fast pass to fight Weidman. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Both these guys, I think, are both towards the end of their careers. Vitor's been fighting a hell of a long time. He's been fighting for like 17 years, I believe. So that's the fight I want to talk about. I will take Hendo in this fight. I just think that even though he is older, Father Time is actually a little bit better to him. I think Vitor might have just taken too many supplements over the years, and I think it's taken a toll on his body now that he's not able to use TRT or anything else to help him out. So we'll have to wait and see. The weigh-ins will show. He'll probably look like Donnie Wahlberg from the beginning of The Sixth Sense when he weighs in, and it's creepy. It's freaking creepy, man. So in any case, that's the show this week. I didn't have anything to recap because there wasn't any fights, but we got the twofer. You get one, actually you get both for free. Well, if you have UFC Fight Pass. I believe it's on Fight Pass. You know what? Actually, I don't recall, but it's not a pay-per-view and it's not on Fox. I believe it's on Fight Pass. And then you got Bellator and Spike Friday night. I'm rambling because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anyways, I'm glad you joined in. Thank you so much for watching. It's another short but sweet. Next week, it'll be much more to talk about because we'll have a recap, we'll have news and rumors, and we'll get to talk about UFC 193, Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey. Thank you so much for watching me tonight. Have a great day. Bye-bye.